a bit of learning, soul searching over the, not soul searching, that's kind of cheesy, but some worked on some things over the weekend, or had a good stream on Friday. And I'm eating again on camera. Sorry about that. Let's finish the checklist here. I launched Frames. I've changed the name. I've changed the name to Frames. And that is this over here. This is not its icon. We'll get into Frames in a second when I start dealing with that stuff. We can make it full size and shrink it. That's as, oh, it gets really small. That's new. I didn't realize it would shrink that badly. But, I mean, I guess. It probably shouldn't shrink any smaller than those controls. So, we'll call that. Well, I've launched Frames. and update the video ID. I did that already because the chat's showing. And then I turn the stream deck off, starting off. Eating and drinking here. Where to start? How about I start with eating so I get that over with, so that my again another poke bowl. Doesn't that look yummy? So that doesn't who wants warm poke? Hiya! Hiya! Good grief. This thing is impossible to open. There we go. Not impossible. Possible. Music. Music, music.
That was This Is It by Utho Riley. Now
Thank you.
The Guardian.
Thank you.
Audio.
Thank you, thank you. And hopefully the compressor will keep my voice level a reasonable level, even when the microphone is put way out over here. The compressor is going to do its job and lift my voice a little bit, so that I can eat but not, you know, get food all over the microphone. On the stream, it's going to. So here's. I did want to start off with this. Like, I was just streaming Friday. I did the game streaming Friday, and I switched over to a scene collection and different profiles. I have a different profile, a different scene collection. I do. Yeah, I'm in this other profile right now. It's fine. I'm in it. It's. I was gonna octastream. No. What's 6? What's quintuple, septuple? I don't remember. I have. Look what AI can do. Is something that I've been kind of noodling on. I've had it actually for a couple of weeks, around the same time I started these streams. Sometime in October. I thought I created it in October. But look at what AI can do was going to be a satire, but not quite so satire. It's going to be a double entendre of look at what AI can do. Let me go ahead and put that in bold here on the notes. Let's do this because that's what I'm talking about. I was going to do a combo stream, but to 2 separate channels. This NightVsKnight behind the scenes and the look at what AI can do. But of course, you still keep coming up there. Let's see here. This one, I think. This is the one that won't work until I thought I could swear I had set this up. Maybe it was just kind of you have to do it in 2 or 3 stages. But I had set this up so that I could stream from look at what AI can do. But it's not going to let me stream for another 24 hours. So, but regardless, there is a, no, not Veritasium. Working on this right now. There's nothing. This is private. Can I view as, no. I haven't really advertised it at all. I'm my only subscriber. But I'm unemployed, and I'm looking for an excuse to make money. Having applied for jobs and in this industry, I've 200 plus applications, like 5 responses. Yeah, I'm looking at my Pokeball here. 5 to 10 responses maybe. Only 5 interviews and all no's, and basically they just want perfection. So at this point in time, why don't I just kind of start my own company? And I have a company, a sole proprietor, but why don't I just start this look at what AI can do? So that's that's what I'm working on, and getting that up and running. And I was gonna stream that today, but I'm not. Here's the profile collection. I was gonna do that as a stream. But all this is a tangent because I was testing. I was streaming on Friday, and used my my game streaming profile. It's the same profile. I was using the scene collection. I'm talking through this so I can kind of try to figure out what happened and what I'm getting ready to show you, why it happened, so I can better understand OBS. But I was on the game streaming collection. I'm not going to switch the collection. I probably could while streaming, but I'm not going to. And it's pretty loud in my ear. Maybe it's just loud in my ear. I'm going to turn it down and so that I can talk a little bit more without it being totally drowning. Hopefully on the stream the audio is not too bad. So I was streaming on the gaming scene collection, and then for today I switched back to the behind the scenes, and basically it relayed out all of my notes. So all these notes, they were tabified, and now they're all split out as an individual column. So whenever I start OBS, I basically need to do, especially after gaming night. If this is just Monday through Thursday, it's probably already going to be pre-set up from the day before. But if it's after a Friday stream, then I need to come in to do two things, really. Just kind of group these up, dock that in there, dock that in here, and I can change their order once they're in here. And then if the checklist is that one over here, and the music goes over here, and the goals, and the notes. And this is kind of how I work. But I also like to do this. I didn't realize SourceDoc is a pretty cool plugin, and it has this feature that's a hidden feature. It's not available in the OBS UI. I wonder why. But you can turn off the dock, and I like to turn off the lower right corner so that I can have the audio mixer squish way out there. Otherwise, if I don't, then the dock takes the whole column. But this is basically turning off the dock corner holding. And I do want it for this left side where I have this is my plan B fallback. This is my failsafe chat for the moment. But I can resize you a little bit, but not too ridiculous. And then I resize you a little bit. If you won't go any smaller, so then I can resize you to be larger since you're going to have that full space. So this is how I do the setup, and coming back from Friday, this is what the setup is like. So look at what AI can do. Is something that I'm working on. I was hoping to stream today, and the reason why I'm talking about it, now I feel like I can have pause for a moment and get a bite of food. So listen to the music while I fill my stomach here. Pretty weird to watch me eat, yeah. It's kind of weird to watch, for me to watch me eat. I don't need to watch me eat. Nope, let's not do that. Let's put you here. You squish okay. Yeah, you squish okay. I'm still using this web player. This will get into a look at what AI can do. Basically, this music player was written using a lot would be an understatement. Mostly, almost exclusively AI. When you actually do the metrics behind it, it's like 95. The code is 95% AI written, or more, and 5% or less mine. And just me directing it what to do. Because that is what I feel like programming has turned into nowadays. But It's cool. It's kind of liberating to be able to just write any app you want. I see the noise suppression's doing a pretty good job cutting back on the chewing sound. So as I'm writing, I wrote this MP3 player. I've written a lot since I was laid off in December with 100 of my coworkers, and not bitter about that at all, no. I've used a lot of AI. Did I put on the stream an ETA? Yeah, 1 to 2 hours. I gotta pick up the kids at 3:50. So it's 2 o'clock now. So I'll have to leave in an hour and a half ish. So I can write I'm not gonna be so crazy and delusional to say that I can write any piece of software I want. I did something crazy a good month or two ago. It wasn't totally crazy, but I was amazed that it was possible. How easy it was.
That was Bloodlust by White Bat Audio. Now playing Limitless Skies by Utho Riley.
The Blackmagic camera. If you've ever used the Blackmagic smartphone app, Android or iOS, the Blackmagic camera is pretty cool. Android and iOS app. I was going to use it for basically pirating the Tron Ares in the movie theater, but I decided not to for copyright strike reasons, because I realized that they actually are pretty big sticklers about streaming copyrighted information. Even on my channel, I'm extremely appreciative. I crossed 500 subscribers in the past week, and I haven't done any announcement or thanks or anything for that. It's not for not being appreciative. It's more for not having time. I think that was Friday. I think I crossed Thursday night or Friday. Oh yeah, I can mute this thing because this is stupid. Inspect. Inspect. Okay, that's not gonna do it. So, whatever. I like to suppress that welcome to live chat. Learn more. Like, get rid of that. Dismiss the damn thing. So I was gonna live stream Tron Ares. I mentioned this in another stream before, but when I went there and did a test stream, Mariah Carey was playing in the background. It was like a 30-second live stream. All it was for me to just test it. I can get the bandwidth, the drop packets or anything. So I'm testing, sitting there in the lobby, outside the lobby, on the movie theater's Wi-Fi. Mariah Carey music comes up. And by the time I get home, I get a notice that my stream has gotten not a strike. Your very first strike, it seems like, is just a warning. So I got a warning. I guess you really get 4 strikes. So, and plus that same day, again, I've talked about this in a previous stream. That same day, I was streaming countdown to Tron Ares release date, and it was still like 20 days, 15 to 20 days away, and I was streaming the 9 Inch Nails songs, and that stream got shut down fairly quickly. So I real quickly realized if I want to take this channel any bit seriously and not just completely kiss the channel goodbye, which I don't want to, so I do want to take it seriously, I better kind of adhere to the YouTube no strike. And it's reasonable. I get it. I don't want to exactly stream copyrighted stuff. I'm trying to follow the rules. They're confusing, and I hope there's forgiveness when I am not a lawyer, makes mistakes.
That was Limitless Skies. Now playing Achieving Dreams.
And I'm sorry, I'm half eating and still losing some train of thought on why I'm talking about all this for. Oh, Blackmagic app. That. I wanted to be able to. In the Blackmagic app, I might as well see what I'm showing. It's a quite cool app. And then let me have it flip. Front. There we go. So that you can see it. That's the... There we go. So this is the... I could probably do a screen... a USB wired or something remote on it, and it's really hard left and right to show you, but it's a really powerful application. This will turn your camera, your Android camera or your iPhone camera, it'll turn it up to 11, and it'll maximize its hardware abilities. Even something like one I think the coolest features is the stereo microphone. Wasn't it? Yeah, it's I touched the left side or the right side, and so it uses the dual microphones as stereo microphones, and I thought that was cool. That from pirating a recording of the IMAX that I went to movie theater and recorded IMAX of F1. I got compliments in some of my still fairly large viewer-sized F1 videos that the audio quality was awesome, and I was surprised at how awesome the audio quality was. And I used the Blackmagic camera to record that, and it was thumping. Like, it was actually really good. It wasn't audiophile like fidelity, but it was enjoyable. It was actually quite enjoyable audio quality. So the Blackmagic camera was awesome. I wanted to use it to pirate Tron Ares, and I thought I could live stream it. And what I wanted to do was set everything up on the camera and kind of have it just off to my side. I have a water bottle with a magnet on it. I'm pretty stealth about it, especially if I turn down the screen all the way. My screen is all the way off. And then I would have a watch app that watch. So I'd have a watch app. I'm not wearing my watch right now, But I write my own application. Wouldn't it be nice if you could, if I could write a watch app that controls the Blackmagic camera, because I should totally be doing this over a tether wire. If I come into settings, there's a remote camera control. Remote camera control. And in remote camera control, you can tell it whether it's going to be the slave or the master. Is that even politically correct to say that? The controller or the controlee? The controller or the controlee? And that got me to thinking that, well, if this is meant in the Blackmagic camera, if you have a bunch of iPhones and Androids, and probably even like the $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 Blackmagic cameras, you can network them all together and hit play, and they'll all record. And GoPros can do that. It's not that much of a unique feature, but I thought I would use that feature as a way to remotely control it. So I'd write my own Blackmagic remote control watch app. And since the Blackmagic app Android app can control other Blackmagic apps, Android or iOS. If I had two Androids, one could control the other. So that tells me, obviously, it doesn't take much intellect to figure out. That means that application is capable of both controlling and being controlled. So all the code is inside there, and it's very simple to basically decompile an Android application. And if you can decompile it, then artificial intelligence can go in and look at the obfuscated decompiled code and go find out where it opens sockets and makes network calls and controls things. So it was an exercise in something that I could do priority-wise. I haven't made it a priority. Hashtag note to self. Look at what I can do. The Blackmagic remote control application. Make that be a project that I highlight as something that AI can do. There we go. So that's what I'm talking about it. So AI can do some pretty amazing stuff. It's pretty bad too. AI is really, really horrible and really shitty. I'm more of a negative. I really am more of a negative on AI. I might be close to 50-50, or I might even be more of a pro of AI. Pro meaning for. I might be more for AI than against it. I probably am, and just am in denial of it. But when it does bad stuff, man, wow. Amazing. Amazeballs how bad that is sometimes. So I came to look at what AI can do.
Now playing. Quest for flight.
Mostly I was really surprised that the YouTube, the Twitch, I have all these accounts for I can show it because it doesn't have any passwords. Why is this the page? Why does this page come up every time? It's like not. I should just close it because yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna use any of those tabs. Fuck it. Now that page will never bother me again, right? Why are you prompting me? What? Okay. I'll deal with you later. Weird. Where was I? In, here we go. Bam, here we go. So, I was very surprised that all these were available. Now, not the domain name. I'm not gonna look at what AI can do.com, but all the other stuff is available. And so, you know, .com's king, but there are alternatives. So I get everything. Look at what AI can do at Gmail, at GitHub, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, Discord. That actually is, Discord's kind of a lie, but there is a user at Discord, but that's pretty minor. So I created this about a month ago, a little less than a month ago. And as I started writing the music player and frames and who knows what else I could roll, what else that I've made in the past 11 months that I could roll into an example of look at what AI can do. Because I do want to show the positive. It's not just meant to be a satire on the negative. I want to show the positive. Because I kind of want to be employed. I kind of want to make money. I should put it that way. So, I'm not going to probably do a very good job making money by being the resistance and fighting against the current, against AI. I think that Pandora is out of the box. But what if I took my tongue-in-cheek satire, not very serious,
That was Quest for Flight. Now playing.
I'm almost done here, I promise. Sorry I had to suffer through that. I was trying to get through it fast. Sincere sorry. So I have a company, swwwooby, sole proprietor, that I could do stuff out of, but swwwooby, SWOOBY, it's a unique name, and I like the uniqueness of it. I can still work with it. I have no problems with it, but it's not gonna it doesn't have the obvious takeoff that a better name would have. The name is not really conducive to just momentum by itself. But look at what AI can do. Having the word AI in it and being positively worded, but having an innuendo of something negative. I realized over the weekend, what if I just made my tongue-in-cheek satire, look at what AI can do channel that I created 3 weeks ago? Why don't I just make that my business? and go into consulting, showing people how to use AI. So that's kind of what all this ramble is all about. And oh boy, have I been rambling. And eating. But I did want to. I had hoped to stream this time, but apparently I have to wait. I hadn't already set it up. Again, I thought I'd already had. I got to wait another 24, 23-ish hours before I can stream. Do it'll be a dual stream. I'll be streaming to 2 channels, but it's 2 channels on at least 3 providers. YouTube, Twitch, Kick. I could even do Facebook, whatever. Yeah, I'm trying to think through. I used to NightVsKnight stream to Facebook. I could pick it back up. Apparently, the multi-streaming is not as inefficient as you might as a technical-minded person might imagine. It's actually fairly smartly implemented in that they essentially reuse the encoded packets to transmit to other, like, from what I understand, I don't have confirmation of this, but it really takes no more overhead on your computer to stream to 3 channels or 1 channel. And I imagine if that's true, you know, maybe a little bit. It's not linear. It's not gonna. If it takes 5% to stream to 1 channel, then does it take 15%? I'm running currently 12% on my MacBook. But I could stop the stream and the thing still takes 8%. So there's not a whole lot of linear scaling overhead that you would expect when you're multi-streaming. It's gonna pseudo efficiently, logarithmically, less than linearly, or better than linearly, I should say, scale. Less than linear is kind of ambiguous, wasn't it? It'll scale so that I could theoretically stream to YouTube NightVsKnight. BTS is kind of what I would really eventually want to go to, a behind-the-scenes channel. When I reach 1,000, if I reach 1,000 subscribers and get essentially monetized, then I will create a BT. How about I make that a goal? Hashtag note to self. Let's set a goal to when I reach 1,000 subscribers, then I'll create a BTS channel, and then all this behind-the-scenes stuff will be on that channel. And I like the behind-the-scenes stuff more myself. I think it's technically more interesting since that's what I do almost all the time. It's basically literally a personification of how I think is the behind-the-scenes stuff and just how I work. When I'm not working, I'm doing that. And so the behind-the-scenes stuff is how I eat, live, and breathe technology, and keep me current on my interests. The gaming stuff's just kind of fluff. The game's fun. I've no doubt about it. I do enjoy Star Citizen and all of its warts. It's so buggy and so problematic and so controversial and so negative stigma. It's got problems, but you know, it's like a psycho supermodel. You're dating a supermodel. Come on. It's pretty awesome. So I do like the game. I love the game. But I'm mostly into the technology and staying relevant. And it's helping me to roll in some AI, and what I want to do is like really dial up to 11 the AI, my use of AI, especially running local LLMs, kind of getting away from the need to use Codex or the need to use Copilot, and or turn Copilot and Codex, point them to using some sort of a what do they call it, open weighted LLM or something like that, where you can point it to your own. I don't think they're actually set up at the moment, but the cool thing is you can ask AI kind of how to do this. So you could naively convince yourself that you're an expert about something, and I'm trying not to go down that route. I constantly believe that even the shit that I do know a lot about, I believe I barely know. I've barely scratched the surface of most of it. So that's look at what AI can do. I don't need to look at myself. And I'm gonna see what it's kind of brand new. It's gonna be how I kind of drive forward, putting together hopefully some sort of way to have a company that helps me to get paid to, and this is just me thinking out loud, for me to get paid to consult or write or contract software for somebody, where find someone down the street, a neighbor wants a web page. Fine, I'll build you a web page, I'll charge you $1,000 for it, and boom, I made $1,000. And I did it with Codex or Copilot or Codex, and made $1,000. And then I can basically come home and play games, and and then make another $1,000 doing something else, and doing something that I enjoy. And I find it easy to write this stuff, and I found techniques. There's things such as I have an application that I wrote back in December. This is nearly a year old, what I'm about ready to show. This is I really do need to tether and stream that as a cast. See what I can do to do that. I don't need you. Take you out. What can I do to cast from the screen here? So if I launch Android Studio, and yeah, it's out for 2025. I can bring up the running devices,
by Utho Riley. Now playing.
upgrade the cable. Yeah, but I mean, isn't the USB 2.0 enough to capture over the screen? Let's see here. Device manager. You. I want to. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. This is the physical. Yeah, but that's not going to do me. Screen. Yeah, no, that's not going to help me. Running devices, but it is running. So why don't we show this one here? Yeah, this is what I want. And connect. All right, here we go. So, and can I pop you out? I can. So now I got this. Is that showing on the screen? Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me... How do I want to present that? Do I want it to be its own screen capture? Which I'm already capturing the whole screen, but I could create a scene for that. There's a lot of noise on the screen, and I don't know if it's going to be so convincing with all that noise on the screen. I'm going to try this. I should make a scene for... I have scenes for the Pixel 7 Pro camera, but I don't exactly have a scene for the Pixel 7 Pro being screencast. So I've got here as I've got this Alfred AI, and this is basically a walkie-talkie application that it's you push the button, the microphone button down there, and I can be like, tell me a joke. Yeah, so, you know, AI. Everybody laugh. Look at what AI can do. Yikes. Whoa. But the thing is, on this code, I have the code for this. Do I have the window for it? I do. I haven't looked at this code in, geez, probably like 6 months. It's the mobile. I have a common. Shared. Let's find it real quick if I can do it. Functions manager. All right, this is it, I believe. So this is a functions manager, and let me. I realized I could be doing the screen share. Let me redock that. Bring that back. Pop you in. But I want to show you here. I can show you here. There's no reason why I can't show you here. I'm going to pin you. Whatever. It's too big. And I want to find out what is the private. Here's the public. Here's the public. Get functions. Who uses you? You use you. When I connect to the real-time session, I give it the functions. And so let's put you over here and put you on the side and close you. So when this is the real-time session, the OpenAI real-time session create request, and you have all these things that you pass to it, and basically I can pass functions. It's just part of their API that they have, and so I pass it these functions. And so I only have one defined right now, and that's this task create, and that would tie into connecting to, I hope I don't show any API keys here or anything, so we'll see. That I go off and quote, 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 show toast. I think it's just a to-do. I think that's all I did. Yeah. I've been working on implementing it. I had to been working on it, but at the moment I'm not. But the way that this worked back in January, February, is that, and it's improved since then. I'm explaining how it worked in December, January, February. I think I stopped updating this in about March or April. Is you define, and basically, if more or less, it doesn't look like it here, but it really boils down to natural language. This is code, and sure, it's code, and it's kind of hard to read if you don't know code, But the point of this code is to convert the code into a natural language. And so the name of this task is called task create. And the description is task reminder create. And there's properties for it and this name. And this is the name of the task or reminder. And then the time and the description of the time variable is the date and time associated with the task reminder. And the name is required. So all this is code that is meant to kind of connect natural language to a function call. And so I can basically, that all this results is I pass these functions, meaning this one function right now, to OpenAI real time. And basically I can say on the screen, I'll touch the screen and I'll say, remind me to cook dinner at 6 o'clock. And here it goes function task create name cook dinner at 6 o'clock. So it basically took what I just said and made a function call with it. And so where the brainstorming idea my wife and I had is basically I've had this useless gimmick that I've shown around and have impressed a few people with it. The few people I have shown it to have been impressed with it, is another way of phrasing it. So I'm batting a pretty high average on that. But instead of it being a gimmick, why don't I actually do what they have nowadays? These are function calls. What they've also done is drop in a full-blown MCP into it. When I wrote this in in December of 2024, January, February, March of 2025, MCPs did not exist. I don't think the acronym MCP was a thing. If it was, it wasn't well known. And so since then, and I think it's probably in August or September of 2025, just a month or two ago, 2-ish months ago, they added into the RTC API MCPs. It's a lot of acronyms, but the Model Context Protocol. So now I don't have to make these more brittle function calls. I can do MCPs, so I can basically, I haven't done it yet. And so this is where, what if I were to make a company that just shows how easy it is to use AI to write software in a realistic way that blows your mind, and still looks like magic and is still wowing, but actually does work. So this would be the theory here would be that I could basically say, it's gonna do a bad job responding back to me, but basically I could say, prioritize my issues. Tell me how many untriaged issues there are on GitHub. And I could just push a talk on it, and it would tell me, oh, you've got 6 new untriaged issues on GitHub. And the AI would go off and query the MCP. I'd show you literally, I've broken some stuff. I'm not done with the look at what AI can do yet, but I'm going to segue into frames in its current state. And I can't demonstrate because of some crap that I broke just this morning, in fact. And I thought about a domain. Look at what humans can do. Yeah, because I think it's a human error on what happened to me today on GitHub. But if I'm going to do, I have look at what AI can do. If I'm joking about look at what humans can do, because they can also mess things up, but also they can make beautiful things. I should also get a look at what AI cannot do, or look at what AI can't do. I kind of like the cannot. I might as well maybe get them both. I don't know. I thought that might be kind of my humanitarian outreach philanthropy of, you know, if I ever start profiting off of AI, then I basically can contribute to human nature and all the things that all the great things that it means to be human and not AI on a look at what AI can't do, cannot do. But also, if I'm going to do that, if I have look at what AI can do, look at what AI cannot do, and I have look at what humans can do, why don't I have a look at what humans can't do also? I'm kind of kidding about all that stuff. Please don't go off and buy the domain names though, because I might want to buy them. But I can talk to the real-time OpenAI WebRTC real-time API using their MCP hook-ins, and I can control GitHub. And it only takes a few things. Again, I kind of wish I could show it. Why not? Why not? It seems like I'm rambling here, but the point is that you'd have to imagine this code that I'm showing right now on the screen has not been updated since April. Again, I don't think even the acronym MCP even existed in April of 2025. So I'm curious. Let's go see. Let's go see. Bam, bam. Is that's still, yeah, that was this one. This one will work. Wiki MCP. Macoop, whatever. I don't know what that is, but model context protocol. When did it come about? November. Okay, it was introduced in November 2024. I didn't know about it. I might have known about it. Sorry, Wikipedia. Stopgap approaches such as function calling APIs. So this is OpenAI's 2023. The MCP is superior to it and it's also got its own problems. I'm not saying it's golden perfect. But since early this summer, late summer, OpenAI put MCP into the WebRTC, and you can even go OpenAI real-time API MCP. And
that was artificial by Utho Riley.
I think they have instructions. I think that might even be my post. I don't think this is my post. No, it's not my post. Yeah, here's the link directly to it. Real-time API, MCP connectors and MCPs. Yeah, I don't see it here listed. I have not played with this in a while. And part of me getting look at what AI can do seriously is for me to get my Alfred AI bot, this thing showing on the screen on the right there, and hook it into an MCP so that I can control GitHub through just a walkie-talkie. So I could walkie-talkie control GitHub and Codex so that I can anything that has an MCP in it. The Codex can operate as a client or a server MCP, and GitHub can operate as a client or server MCP. You can hook them all up. There's lots of MCPs. You need to realize the power of what an MCP can do. Again, they have some problems. There've been a couple of meetups where they talk about some of the limitations, and it's kind of black or white. It's all or nothing. You can either do everything's on or off with the MCP. There's no real gates. An example being you have to give an MCP write access to your file system. But if you do that, it has write access to pretty much the whole file system. So that's not good. You kind of want to be able to limit that only certain files or only certain folders or only when I tell it to you control the write access. And MCP v1.0, it didn't even have a it might have had a 1.0 concept. I don't know if it had a 1.0 version, MCP versions. I'm curious. MCP versions, version 2. Versioning, specification. This is Anthropic. They're using these. They're not really like. There's a. If it followed traditional programming paths, there would be like this RFC, request for comment. Current protocol is interesting. I went to a meetup where they said they were working on a future version of MCP. I have to look into this a bit more. Anthropic is the and this seems like that's the Anthropic logo, right? No. What is this? Is that the logo for MCP? I guess that just is the landing page for it. Okay, that's it. And they have a versioning. And I wonder who it's run by, who the organization is, the community about MCP, who we are.
Utho Riley.
It's growing. So yeah, I'm kind of brainstorming this example clients, example servers, chatbots, ChatGPT. Here's a tools. I don't want that. Cursor, GitHub. GitHub has tools. It's this tools column is pretty much the main one. I think everything has tools. Nothing has not a tools. Okay. So, I guess if you limit yourself and stick just inside this tools column, you can interact with all of these things, and that'd be AWS, GitHub Copilot, separate from GitHub. You can tell GitHub Copilot, go off and implement this. So you can, on the GitHub MCP, I can't show it working at this moment. I wanted to get a stream in. I can show what happened. So you gotta kind of take my word for, I hate demos like this, and this one's all like open and transparent of how scattered this is. Might as well check the chat. No, you can't because you're not real. Can I ban you? I can try in frame here. If I frames, it could be called the frame browser too. Here I go. I ban them and I mute them. There we go. That's weird that gets smaller than expected, but all right. So if I bring you here and shrink you to your width and bump you there, if I can split this, see, I can't. I worked on this double split here. I asked AI to implement this slider here on frames. If I double click this, it'll resize immediately to adjacent frames. So I could, for example, do something stupid like this, and then I double click this and it will resize those two to be equal. But this one, because of stupid YouTube and how they kind of have a minimum size, I basically go to there and then I do this and I can double click and reframe. But here I'm going to double click this and it's really hard to get in there. The splitter is not large enough, I feel. So my goal is to make this not be an Alfred AI anymore. I don't know if I want to go so far as to say, look at what AI can do, app, or some sort of an agent of some sort. I could just call it Al or something. I don't know. But I want to update this code that I haven't touched since April to bring in MCPs so that I can talk to GitHub and just push to talk and give it my instruction. Sometimes I can talk and you can text in here too. So I could text in here and I can say tell me a joke. I have to hit, sorry. On a screen, you would just hit the go button, right? So I go.
That was like it used to be. Now playing rotary drive.
So, joke. The purple boundaries are just me. Those are debugging boundaries right now, so you can ignore that. Collapse that. So that I can talk or text to GitHub or Copilot or Codex in the cloud and just tell it to do A, do B, do C, and then they come back to me and they tell me when they're done. And then I do something else. And this becomes a very natural, I hope, inevitably, that you're basically coming up with, it's so cliche that this example is peak pinnacle just because of the way that it got pushed out into the world and is a fantastic example of Iron Man and Jarvis. But I don't like when people reference it as if they're trying to recreate that specific, as if it's like science fiction and not possible. I actually want to not talk about it and just actually fucking do it. I really want to just be able to, maybe I don't talk out loud. There is voice activity detection. You can do VAD and that sort of stuff, and that's fine. But I worked on a walkie-talkie software at a company for 5 years. The walkie-talkie form factor is fantastic. There's no privacy concern on that. So I like the walkie-talkie interface with that. Note to self, hashtag note to self. I don't even need to hashtag note to self on myself. And this, just letting you know, I need to leave in less than an hour. So trying to keep track of time here. So I could segue on to what's happened to Frame in the past 6 hours, whatever. Yeah. Let's move on to Frames. So, I decided to call it Frames instead of Frame because it's plural, it's multitask. It's like if you have one frame, you're not using the point of it is to use more than one. If you only ever have I don't know, that's about it. I was gonna say it's like a pair of pants or eyeglasses. If you had a monocle or something. If you only have one, the point of it is ridiculous. You actually have to have two for it to make any sense for you to use frames. So, and I have another window over here as a better example. What I want to implement is scaling so that these pages shrink and they become more controllable, and that would probably mean that the plus and minus keys would have to be more become an X to close and something else to add. But I need sort of a zoom in and out indicator, or in just pinch zooms, pinch in and out, which I don't have. Oh, well, hey, look at that, I do. But I can't zoom out any further is the problem. I can zoom in, but I can't zoom out anymore. And I was trying to add Discord and Messenger and Zoom here and Amazon as examples because I have this wrong that I've been working on. This is the icon for frames. This evolved from, make sure that I did change the topic. Did it take? Oh, star. There we go. 2, 3. Bam. Sorry. We're talking about frames. this icon that's here right now was just aim, the word aim, yeah, AIM in frame. I kind of thought arrow aiming towards the frame. Obviously, the square is the frame, and the aim is the arrow going into it. I was just brainstorming, but then I thought, well, frames. Why not just have frames? And so basically each window, each rectangle is part of the eyeglass. And if I brought up preview and came into you to basically this one, it's all messed up. It's all messed up. I'll get into it in a moment. Yeah, it's this one right here. Bam. Should make this transparent to be a little more obvious. But basically, I've got YouTube in the upper left, Discord in the upper right, Google, a search engine in the middle left, a shopping site on the middle right, and a messenger service in the lower left, and a camera video service, conferencing service on the lower right. So these kind of this covers an extremely broad spectrum of how I use the internet. I use it for these main reasons here. Less of the video conferencing, and I don't really go to Messenger and use it too much. I don't go to social. I didn't want to put Facebook up here, social, this and that, and TikTok. I hate that shit. Even though I'm probably gonna try to stream to it. I can't make it any narrower, so there we go. So this is sort of symbolizing these frames are those frames. I hope it's obvious the connection that I'm making between those rectangles and these sunglasses. I'm gonna lift this out into GIMP, SVG, a layered vector graphic, and edit these colors and stuff. It's pretty bad, but it gets the job done. It's passable for the moment as far as, and I'm integrating that into an app right now. If I were to close this frame, if I close this and launch Qt, it's not going to know where I moved it, so it's not going to know where, and I might as well, before I do that, delete the build. Anything else to delete? I don't think so. I can get rid of you. You're not needed. I've checked some stuff in, and I just thought I missed something there. And then come over to Qt, and the project has moved, so I'm not going to be able to pull any of those up, but I can open dev and open this one. Should pull up the make file. There you go. And this should build with no errors. Oh, I need to configure. Cannot find the source code. Contents. Debug with edited. Edit frames. What do you not like? Line 27. What is the updates? Sure, why not? No updates. Sweet. Love it. Line 27, Qt add. Frames icons. Frames resources. Frames I. Oh, I did. Here we go. Frames. Resources. Frames. Here we go. Resources. Frames icon. This one. It should have put this into. I did that at 1 a.m. I did that today. And this is slightly old, but it made it in that folder, and the script. I just had a friend text me about a job. We'll see. Let me look at the script. I think I have that in my Visual Studio Code here for this. It's producing the frames icons, but I want to put it in the resources folder. Icon need a package to that. I want to put this in the resources folder. That's where I want it, because that's where it's supposed to go. And then I'll replace you. What's your dimensions? Resources, frame, you are 256. Trying to remember how that got in there.
By Utho Riley. Now playing Get Out by White Bat Audio.
And this is from a couple of days ago, more than a couple. And this is the new one, so I can move you there. And that's no longer needed. But then this, I want to grab the 256 and put you in here as frames. Icon. This is a placeholder for now. Well, the icon's only used on Windows. And then I was editing the script file to basically put it in the resources folder itself. There's no .ico. That was the only one of those. Package to icons, resources. I don't remember putting it in the resources folder itself. But it should at least find it now. Frames icon. So now I think if I were to reload this project, scan and run. Now, because it's a new, I've changed the domain name of this basically, and it's gonna be fresh, clean, and not gonna have any browsing history. So when I run this, I've never seen what this icon looks like on the taskbar. This will be world premiere, even for myself, on what the icon looks like on the Mac dock down here. And that's not horrible. It's cute. I like it. I mean, it's not unexpected. I've seen the icon 100 plus times now. That's cool. And what's the meme of the guy with all those multiple sunglasses? Isn't there a meme on that? It doesn't blend in. It needs to be shrunk and fine-tuned. There are problems with it for sure. But as far as detail, like there's the Stream Deck, Elgato Stream Deck. There's a lot of noise on that. There's a lot of noise in preview. Like, what is this like preview thing going on? That's a really weird icon, I think. The Final Cut Pro is kind of noisy. There's lots of noisy icons. I don't find this too noisy. It needs to be shrunk a little, and it might get noisier when it is shrunk. But anyway, that's the new frames. I can run the frame, and there's frame before I renamed it to frames. There's just frame from 2 or 3 days ago. And it's actually using the same ID, I think. So it's triggering that, which would be under the source main, way down here at the bottom of the unique ID of the socket. There's not a whole word, which is why it didn't catch it. Frames. There we go, frames server. It should be that S right there. So now this won't clash with the singular frame. And if I run you're your own app. And if I run frame by itself, it's going to launch its own app. And then these are that, and we're good. So I'm working on, this is frames, and this is the old frame. So it's a work in progress, under construction. And I gotta commit that, and there's a lot of changes here. This is just that one on that, and this is that, and these got deleted because it's not frame icon set, it's frames icon set. And yeah, I'm gonna add you, and there's a bug here. I'm aware that, and I got to figure out why. And part of the scary part of look at what AI can do is I am not in denial of the fact that writing a browser is complicated. But I want to push myself and other people to think that you can do it. If you're not happy with Microsoft Word as a word processor, it's 2025. You have artificial intelligence available to you. If you can describe and explain to AI what you want, write your own word processor. It's so liberating and freeing that AI, what I do like about it, it's got problems for sure, but the liberating and freeing thing about it is, yeah, OpenAI, Copilot, Microsoft, they're gonna have the AI, they're gonna have that AI, they're gonna control the AI, but they're gonna lose control of all their software, everything Microsoft especially. And if you take it far enough, you could see that Amazon would be threatened. You can build your own Shopify. Like Shopify competes with Amazon, or all these websites that are trying to fight for your business. Fuck it. Write your own. If you don't like any of the options out there, have AI write your own shopping website. AI, ChatGPT prompt, write a shopping website for me. Have it scale. Address Redis memcache, make it scale, cap theorem, system design, buzzword. Just like it knows every fucking thing.
This is it. Now playing.
Now, is it gonna be a disaster? Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, and that's where you need to have someone that knows what they're doing, doing the work, and that's where you still need to hire people like me, software developers. And I'm learning here. I'm struggling here in a way. I'm struggling psychologically because people don't want to hire me. And psychologically because, oh my gosh, the stuff that I've been doing for 30 years is completely changed. I no longer really have to write for loops and while loops. Now, I do enjoy when AI generates many hundreds of lines of code, I like to scan through it and I like to see how it wrote it. And it's it's writing it in a pure, very methodical way, and it may or may not be, and it's up to my noticing whether it is using the latest Java compiler syntax, it's using the latest Kotlin compiler syntax, whether it's doing Rust or JavaScript or TypeScript, like, but I could tell it to use 2025 coding conventions because it might be stuck in 2022. Who knows? So I'm excited about the possibility, and it's like I have a friend. In fact, oddly, the friend that just texted me about a job, that someone approached him about a job and asking if I'm interested in that job. He is leaning into people's obsession and ignorance of AI, and if they're going to be crazy about it, then I'm going to make money off of them being crazy about it. I'm doing something similar, but why not just build the tool set, and maybe what I've just come up with might be similar to him. Fuck, I didn't think about that. We just went out to lunch a few weeks ago, and he's working on his thing and I'm working on my thing, and there was no overlap between them. Fuck, I can't even remember what I shot with him the idea. I was working on something. So much. Like, with... in a bad psychological position because of the whole change in the industry. So, here, hashtag note to self. How am I rambling now? But it is liberating, it is freeing the ability to write your own media player. So I'm gonna just prove that I can write my own browser with this concept. This is an absurd concept, but I'm gonna see if I can make it work. Can I get 100 people in the world that are just like, this is the best fucking browser ever, where has this thing ever been? Excuse me. Can I write my own media player? I wrote a media player back in 1998. I just had the thought today, or yesterday, yeah, just today. What if all this is like, because this media player that I wrote here, this crazy guy that's probably playing too loud right now on the stream. I minimized it. This thing. This is just HTML5. This is nothing really fancy, but I put in these bells and whistles and knobs and sliders and favorites and stars and playlists and history and all that shit. I didn't need to put any of this stuff in there really. But I did because I like doing that stuff. But this in a way is I don't know if it's even running. I can do, it's on my resume. Yeah. There we go. This, I wrote this in 1997, as an MP3 player. Forget, well, yeah, this is the player. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything. I forget where that even goes. Yeah. Nowhere. So this is totally cheese balls in 1997. But it was cool. And then from there, from Vibe, came Sonic. And this was a fantastic MP3 player that I helped work on. And these are the old versions, the next version, and the next version from the 55s, Night 55. And it just kind of grew from there. And I think it's been renovated since then. But I like MP3 players. But I'm wondering, like, is it curious? Hashtag note to self. Another look at what AI can do example use case would be writing a media player. And that's in addition to writing a Blackmagic remote control application or the Frames web browser. So those three applications, a media player that can play YouTube videos. If you don't like YouTube ads, fuck it. Don't watch through YouTube. Just use your own media player. Sure, you can use VLC. If you don't like if you don't like VLC, like if your answer to, oh, I don't like watching YouTube videos on YouTube because of all the ads, so I use VLC. Well, I don't like using VLC because of something. Well, I don't like this. Like everyone's got something they don't like about it. Like, if you could name the application that you would like, what would it be? And why don't you just tell AI to write it for you and use that? Why are we so needing something that already pre-exists, and why can't we just create our own? Why can't we create our own operating system? And then the hardware all just becomes conduits through the operating system and the applications that we use, and the world becomes full of thousands of browsers, and thousands of word processors, and thousands of media players. If not thousands, hundreds of thousands, to maybe even, I almost dare say, hopefully, millions of media players. Everyone has their own software at home. The rich, and I don't mean to say rich, but the people who have the resources. I don't consider myself rich, but I have to consider myself rich because I currently don't work, and I'm not too worried about it at the moment because I've got plenty of savings. So if that's what it means for me to be rich, then okay, maybe I am rich. But I don't have much. I can't last for long. The point is that got person across the street, the person across the street there, across the street there. Many of these people are not technical, and they're going to be like 90% of the population. But for the 10% of the people who are just like, I don't like this, I don't like that, fuck it, I'm going to write my own. Just have AI do it. And so look at what AI can do. AI can write the word processor that you want, the spreadsheet that you want, the customer relation management that you want. Like, you're not stuck with Salesforce or Smart Sheets or any of this shit. You can write your own. So that's me rambling on kind of look at what AI can do. And I want to bring this back to, I am on Frames right now. I want to show you what happened because can I do this? I deleted the frame icons, and here's the frames icons. This is just a rename, and this is that, although it's not really. I'm not sure what. I'll clean this up. I'm going to clean this up. The README, I'm aware of these bugs. I'm going to go ahead and check them in because I can't yet track them. I've broken my GitHub integration at the moment. And so, should I amend this? I'm going to, these are incomplete. I'm going to rename that. So I'm going to just amend that frame to frames because it doesn't do any good to have a browser of one frame. The whole point of frames is to have more than one frame. So I'm going to push that, and now that it goes, here is the problem. How to explain what the fuck happened earlier today. I'm on Chrome. Yeah, I can do this. This page right here sums up the clusterfuck that it is. So, note to self, when you come in here, this could be a short by itself. Hashtag note to self, this could be a short. It's very important that when you're creating a GitHub organization, and you say, it doesn't matter, I think it doesn't matter on any of these, or it might, I think on free tiers, the only area where you can make personal. And so you go, boo, fooby zooby, and you say something something at something something.com. And this right here is the most important part. If you say my personal account, then your I think I already did it. I think I already have that as an org.
Now playing False Promise.
Let me do this. I think I made a foo. This is what I made first. And view org. And I'll split these two. And go to, this is so weird. This is kind of like frames, but they did it weird, and I don't exactly understand. I have to click inside the frame, and then I can do this, and then can I swap them? Use this to swap them. Reverse. All right. What? Whatever, that's not what I typed. Reverse them again. Alright. So, this is going to be backwards because of how I renamed stuff. But basically, settings. I don't think I'm going to show any important information here. But billing and licensing, payment information. Settings, billing and licensing, payment information. I am showing my address here, so that's kind of weird. And I'm showing a credit card there. That's kind of weird. So I might want to redact this out. Can I do a miniature redaction? Let's see here what I can do. Can I do a mini redact? Let's see. It's a filter that I put on the whole screen, and I can't change just a zone of the filter. Can I transform a filter? It's on here. The filter's on here. The composite blur. But that does the whole thing. And I don't know if I really want to do the whole thing. I'd like to transform origin X, origin Y. What if I did this and I go slide you off? No, that doesn't really do what I wanted. I can cancel. Rotation. Can I transform a video effect? I don't want the starting soon. I want the turn you off. What's a good way? I'm mostly just doing this kind of for the practice of it. I don't totally mind.
That was false.
I don't completely mind my address being out there or 4 digits of my credit card being on the screen. A simple way is just cover it with Notepad. Now I'm dead. All right. Gotta redact that out. Hashtag note to self, redact that out. 1 hour and 42 minutes into the stream. And I will have to rotate all of my keys. Yeah, getting dangerously close to. I'm aware. I'd like to just do a new document all by itself, and then shove you kind of in this area, and elongate you, and see what good this does. So if I come in here and I say billing information, notice that, so I'm going to redact, I've redacted out all that other stuff. This is me talking to myself in the past. So I've got this billing information here. The look at what the organization that is on the right is actually the organization that I created first. It is. And I used it by creating a spam on this one. Nope, not you. Create. When you create, here we go. This one. When you create an account, you can choose my personal account or a business institution. I was creating a business and thought that it would make most sense for me to select this. And I wasn't aware of the importance of doing this choice. And so I did that with a business or institution. I created a look at what AI can do, and it made that org. And then when I went into billing, yeah, this is it. Then when I went to billing, it's what's on the right here. I made it look on the right. I originally made the right organization as look at what AI can do, and it is a business organization. And it's billing. You have to fill out the billing information, but that's not what I wanted to do. It turns out then you have to give it the credit card and all that stuff, and I may eventually want to do that, but starting out, I didn't need to do that. What I wanted to do is on the right here side is, so what I did was I renamed look at what AI can do. I renamed it to look at what AI can do too. And then from that, I renamed it to have the two, and then I created a new look at what AI can do, and I made it a personal. And so now the personal, I don't have to enter in. I've already entered, it's going to use my personal information already in my account as my credit card. I don't have to enter a second credit card. I didn't really want to enter a second billing information. I have 6 organizations: Distro AV, NightVsKnight, swwwooby, a few others laying around. And so this look at what AI can do was the first time I've ever had to enter billing information. And that just kind of weirded me out. But by doing that, now that I have these 2 organizations, I had already transferred the frames repository from swwwooby to look at what AI can do when it was a business. And then I renamed it to that. And now I basically want to transfer look at what AI can do to, which is the business organization, frames, back to look at what AI can do slash frames, no 2, but it won't let me because it says that frames has been retired and cannot be reused. And I'm like, what the fuck? Actually, this happened to me with distro AV, OBS NDI. Distro AV was originally called OBS NDI, and then last year OBS team reached out to us and asked to change the name, so we changed the name to Distro AV, and I ran into something almost, it was the same error message. It was for a slightly twist of a different reason, but it was very, very similar to what this problem is. So, I'm now kind of stuck. That I can't, that frames is not gonna work at the moment. I've sent out a ticket. It worked for me last year. Excuse me. It worked for me last year to create a ticket.
That was indistinguishable.
It took 7 days.
Now playing Descent.
GitHub, I submitted a ticket last year for distro AV. It took them about a week, 5 to 7 days, something like that. About a week for them to reply. And when they did, they were very understanding and very, oh yeah, what confirmed that you want us to do A, B, and C, and I confirmed I wanted them to do A, B, and C, and there you go. So I'm trying the same thing this time, that I created a look at what AI can do GitHub account as a business account. Didn't like how the billing was set up. You can't go backwards to a personal account. So I renamed Look at What AI Can Do to Look at What AI Can Do 2. Then I created a new Look at What AI Can Do as a personal account, personal organization. And then tried to transfer frames from Look at What AI Can Do 2 to Look at What AI Can Do, and it said no. And here, this sums it up, the problem. This is the look at what humans can do, is this shit. Right? Oh, frames is available, so type this, type this, type frames. This is just confirmation to confirm. You ready? This is look at what humans can do. Look at the shit that we can write. Oh, hey! This is, oh, well, let's see here. Let's redact. Note to self that I should have redacted next time there's any question on whether I am going to show or should not show anything, I should probably redact first and then be safe. So let's look at my code here. And alright, now I've got a code and I'm going to hit verify and bam. Now I hit verify and this is what, look at what humans can do. I'm asking it to do frames. I'm not asking it to use the name phrames. And it still says that this has been retired and cannot be reused. I'm not doing it. So now I can't move this at all. Now this frames is kind of orphaned at the moment. So now I do need GitHub technical support help if I ever want to move this or rename this to another org. So by doing that, by creating the business account, it broke the actions. So if I come over to actions, I can't build anymore. And it's built, and for the stupidest reasons, the error is that the job was not started because your payments are not set, and you need to set some limits. And I don't mind doing that. And I thought while now doing this, do I contact GitHub technical support and wait 7 days for them to do this? Or do I just be like, fuck it. Fine, I may look at what AI can do as a business. But then I went and asked ChatGPT.
That was Descent by Utho Riley. Now playing Carnage by White Bat Audio.
I kind of talked this through with ChatGPT about I have a new org. I have multiple orgs. I've never seen this error before. It says it's because of your. Actually, it didn't help me at all. It didn't. And then I said, "Oh, you didn't help me find the problem. I found the problem. It's when an org is created, there's a choice."
Skip Carnage.
When the org is created, there's a choice. This organization belongs to my personal account or a business account. The problem is because I selected a business institution, how can I change back to a personal account? Oh, you can't. You cannot do it. You have to delete and recreate. And then I'm asked that, why didn't you come up with a reason for the problem? And this is a hashtag note to self that this is another look at what AI can do. This is a weird answer. Fair question. I asked it, why didn't you think of the answer? You found the exact cause. Why didn't I? Well, because GitHub doesn't publicly document that the belongs to choice affects actions, billing, eligibility, and that's not exposed to any documentation. What killed me here is the no, it wasn't actually in this statement, but it was from the outside, both orgs look the same, identical. Because of that, the most common cause. So that's the logic that needs to be. You, however, notice the missing link billing info toggle, which is a rare telltale difference. What? Rare? What's rare about me finding out? It's not rare. It either does exist if you're personal, or it doesn't exist if you aren't personal. It's your business. So, you uncovered this once you revealed the creation choice. It became crystal clear. If I had known from the start that you picked a business or institution, I would have gone straight to that explanation, because that checkbox silently changes the billing backend. Sure, you would have. And then I just say, I have a hard time believing GitHub doesn't publicly document that the belongs to choice affects actions, billing, eligibility, and it's not exposed in this. It's its words, and it's not exposed in any API or billing settings. So I had a hard time believing it. And it says, you're absolutely right to question that. I dug deeper, and here's a breakdown, blah, 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 some crap on Reddit and Stack Overflow. Here's my revised statement. Oh, and this was freaky. Excuse me. I'm almost over my sickness from a few weeks ago. What isn't clearly documented to my knowledge? What the fuck? Seriously? To my knowledge. Like, this is an AI. This is the thing that's supposed to know everything in the world. And this is AI being, to my knowledge. Your knowledge isn't supposed to know everything, dude. This is Utho Riley song. He even has a comment in the song that, yes, this song is supposed to sound like Star Wars. So, to my knowledge, so I said, blah, blah, blah. Like, I stopped reading almost. I almost stopped reading it to my knowledge. I just skimmed the rest. To my knowledge, aren't you literally supposed to know everything? And a snarky response, ha, fair point, and I get why that sounds like I'm hedging. Let me explain how this works under the hood. Oh, please, humor me and patronize me at the same time. I don't have omniscient access to everything Google GitHub has ever published or every internal document they maintain. Ah, really? Seriously? Who said that I said that you said that? I think I have a red spot on my head now. I might have smacked myself. I was trained on very broad snapshot of public information. No shit, Sherlock. And can now search the live web for latest public pages. Again, tell me one thing that I don't already know. Oh, hey, it's about time for me to leave. I do gotta leave. Gotta wrap this up. So when I say to my knowledge, I actually mean is across all currently published GitHub documentation and other public sources to the actions billing lock behavior. Wow. That's not me being evasive. Oh no, none of the stuff above is you being evasive at all, because you are a computer and you don't have an emotion, but still your words, you're not evasive, but your words are evasive. So it's me being transparent to the fact that GitHub could have internal unpublished documentation. In practice, here's what's true, blah, blah, blah. And then I basically say, but isn't the problem absolutely something they should have documented? Like, isn't this like... So, indeed, when you create an organization, there is nothing in here. There's no quite... Like, this isn't a very important checkbox. This choice right here. That is extremely important when you're creating an organization, because if you choose a business, your actions will not work until you've actually set up a credit card and put in quotas. If you select a personal account, which I forget if it's the default, it's not, it's empty, so you have to select one. If you do a personal account, then as long as your personal account already had billing set up, then action away. You can run, your actions should run just fine. So my actions are broken, and also my GitHub personal access tokens are not working with the MCP right now, and I think it's all a cluster. These are things that look at what AI cannot do. I don't think AI can just come in here right now and fix this problem that I have made. So hashtag note to self, I need to fix the stream at an hour and 40 something minutes into it. Redact out exposing tokens and delete those and start all over again and get a whole new personal access tokens. So yeah, I'm in the stream here. All right, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I hope you got something out of this. I did. I'm rambling. I'm hoping I get more tangible meat, and I'm gonna close out with this. Let's do what was it? What was it? And that's bad DJ in here. It's kind of a ho-hum of a song. It wasn't gravity assist, it was gravitational waves.
Skip forever. Now
all right.
Gravitational waves.
Thanks for watching. I'll be quiet and let this song play out.
I'm NightVsKnight, motherfucking night, bitch.